It was an electric week for Washington and Lee baseball as the team finally brought their record back above 500. After a 6-run inning in the bottom of the 7th, the Generals were able to squeak a 10-9 victory past the SVU Knights on Tuesday. But that wasn't the biggest win for WNL baseball this week. Captain Dick Smithfield erupted yesterday afternoon as the Generals knocked down Shenandoah University from the top of the podium in conference standings. I even had the chance to catch up with a couple of the team's stars after the game. Let's take a look. Good evening, Rockbridge. I'm here at Washington and Lee's Captain Dick Smithfield, where the Generals baseball team just took down the #1 team in the ODAC, Shenandoah University. And joining me here on field is sophomore pitcher Nathan DeWitt. Now, Nate, this marked a new career high for you, most innings pitched. Just talk me through the mentality on the mound.
Yeah, I had a great catcher on the plate, and Campbell had a great defense behind me. Just went out there, threw strikes the best I could.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Campbell. You shut out the first 6 innings, but when that first run did eventually cross home, he came up to you on the mound. What did he tell you?
He told me just stay calm. You've been here before and throw strikes. Keep doing what you're doing, gives a chance to win, and I tried to do that.
And also joining me here on field is senior catcher Campbell Charnecko. Now, Campbell, a lot of emotions this game, and when pressure ran high, you were the one up on the mound with both Nathan DeWitt and Brody, just talking them through the process. What were you telling them?
Yeah, I was just telling them I need the most confident pitches you've thrown all day. Those guys have great stuff, and I just want to remind them that they're great pitchers and trust their stuff. I've seen their hitters a few times to that point, so I know what they're going to do. So just giving them the words of encouragement out there.
I mean, I've got to ask, how does it feel taking down the #1 team in the conference?
I mean, it feels great. We know we can compete with anyone when we play our best. We just got to go out with the confidence to do so, and we'll keep having games like this. Yeah.
Now, this is the first of a 7-game stretch of all conference matchups. What's the mentality moving forward in the schedule?
Hey, just keep doing what we're doing. Jennies are getting hot, and keep breaking out the interview glasses. Yep.
Well, I appreciate your time, Campbell. Best of luck moving forward this week. And signing off with the Rockbridge Report, I'm McKenzie Kane. But the Generals weren't the only ones dominating the diamond this week. With a grand slam in the first inning from senior James Newsom, the VMI baseball team trumped the Longwood University Lancers on Tuesday, 17-6. And believe it or not, that wasn't even the Keydets' biggest victory margin this week. Yesterday afternoon, VMI baseball downed the Norfolk State Spartans on the road in a decisive 26-6 victory. The Keydets are back home at Gray Minor Stadium tomorrow afternoon to take on Mercer University in the first matchup of a 3-game series. And if you thought that was a dominant win, then you should have seen Generals lacrosse on the road this week. The 9th-ranked WNL women's lacrosse team pounced the Virginia Wesleyan Marlins 21-1 Tuesday night. And last night in Lynchburg, the 9th-ranked WNL men's lacrosse team annihilated Randolph College 31-0, setting a new program record for largest win margin. And yes, you heard that right. In the past 48 hours, the Generals lacrosse teams tallied 52 collective goals and only gave up 1. What a week to be a college sports fan right here in the Rockbridge area. That's all for sports. Back to you, Devin. Love isn't the only thing in the air this Valentine's Day at Wilson Field as the Generals men's lacrosse team suits up for their season opener against York College. Now, the USILA's preseason poll has WNL ranked #4 in the nation right now as the team looks to push past last year's Final Four appearance. Also on the schedule this week, the Generals are back on Wilson Wednesday night to take on Christopher Newport University and bring the Virginia Lacrosse the Nations Cup back to Lexington. It's truly a battle of the ranks here in Salem today. Generals versus Colonels in the Cape Henry Bowl. Now, this is only the second time these two teams have faced each other in history, the last of which being nearly 20 years ago. Now, typically in the military, General is the higher rank, but the Colonels have the upper hand coming into today's game with a 7-3 record and a win in last year's Chesapeake Challenge Series. And for the Generals, well, they're looking to get their first bowl game win today. Good evening, Rockbridge. I'm here at Washington and Lee's Captain Dick Smithfield, where the Generals baseball team just defeated the SVU Knights 5-3. And joining me here on field is sophomore pitcher Nathan DeWitt. Now, we saw an anomaly in the lineup tonight. Not only did you start on the mound, but you were also the team's designated hitter. Walk me through what was going through your mind finding yourself in that situation.
Yeah, that was a fun time. I haven't done that since high school, and so to be able to play both sides of the ball, it was a great time. Getting up there and pitching, getting up there and hitting the same game, it's always a good time.
And how did it pay off?
I mean, it paid off with a win. You love to see the guys get a win, get some momentum heading into the weekend.
Now, speaking of this weekend, you guys got a bit of a tough matchup facing number 5 in the country, Lynchburg, the Hornets. Now, I'm curious, how important was it getting this win at home in terms of carrying over the momentum?
No, this is huge. All you want going into a weekend against a team like Lynchburg is a win. So just getting that off our backs, going in there. We're going to play them close. We're going to play them hard. We did it last year. I'm confident the guys are going to come out again and play them close.
Now, as a member of the pitching staff, what's the strategy before facing a team like that?
All you can do is throw strikes and hope the defense picks you up. So we're going to do a good job of that.
Appreciate your time, Nathan.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank
and
you.
signing off from Captain Dick Smith Field, I'm McKenzie Kane with the Rockbridge Report.
I'm here at Washington and Lee's Holcamp Gym, where the Generals women's basketball team just secured their 19th win of the season with a 91-57 victory over the University of Lynchburg. And leading that charge was junior captain Mary Slicener. Mary, another 30-point game for you. What clicked today?
I think it was just my teammates. I would go to war for them. I love every single one of them, and being out here with them makes it a lot easier to play my best game because they encourage me, they trust me more than I trust myself, and I wouldn't want to be with anyone else.
Now, I'm not sure if you caught all of it, but the local youth girls basketball teams took over the court at halftime. What advice do you have for them as a woman in sports?
I would say, lean on each other, find your people. They were adorable, and, you got to have your heart in the game.
Now, I actually had the chance to ask them a couple of questions after the game, seeing what advice they had for the Generals this season, and the most frequently given answer was have fun. But one little girl wanted me to remind you that on those bank shots, to always aim for the top right corner of the white box behind the hoop. So any comment on that advice?
Yeah, well, she's got it all right. When I hit that top right, it's going in. Bank's always open. It's the same advice my dad and my coaches give me, so, I should take a page out of her book.
Well, Mary, I just want to say thank you for your time. Congratulations on the win today. And signing off with the Rockbridge Report, I'm McKenzie Kane. The Washington and Lee Generals are bringing home their 8th conference title with a 1-0 upset over the University of Lynchburg. And joining me here on field is senior captain Asa Tukey. Now, Asa, this time last year, the Hornets defeated the team on your home turf, and tonight you guys gave them a taste of their own medicine.
Mm-hmm.
How's it feel?
It feels amazing. I think everyone wanted this result, obviously. They got to celebrate on our field last year, especially after we beat them 4-0 in the regular season. We were really, really upset with that. And so this year we were like, this is the exact matchup that we wanted, the exact opportunity to get revenge, and that's exactly what we did. We got to celebrate on their field, got to relish in the victory, and get home with some silverware. So really happy about it.
Now, you had a standout defensive effort tonight, having what panned out to be the game-saving slide late in the second half. So what was it that lit that fire in you tonight?
I don't know. I think it was a little bold given that I was on a yellow card already. But, the guy, he got the ball in between Spencer and I was like, this can't be happening. I simply am just not going to let this happen. Ball, thankfully, I was in the right position. The ball's in the right position. I was like, I'm just going to go for it. It's now or never. I feel like you can't hesitate on tackles like those. If you do, and I had gotten the man instead of the ball, that would 100% have been like a penalty, and game would have been, a lot different. So I'm just happy that it all turned out well, and I just knew I had to get it done.
Now, as a senior captain on this team, what are you telling the guys to make sure that they're staying level-headed, knowing that there are more games to be played this season?
Yeah, we like to say that we're in different phases of the season. So phase 1 was the regular season, just finished up phase 2 with winning ODAX, and now we're stepping into phase 3, going into the tournament. So it's almost like 3 mini seasons in the course of one, and so it's you got to stay level-headed, stay focused. The job is far, far from finished, and especially with my class having gone through 2 Final Fours, we know the journey and the effort and the determination that it takes to get there, and so the job is far from finished, and I think we're going to just pass that determination and that focus and that grit onto the younger guys and keep moving forward.
Well, Asa, congratulations on the win tonight. Best of luck moving forward. And signing off with the Rockbridge Report, I'm McKenzie Kane.
But it's always nice to be here to celebrate my team. They're my family, so it's just been a great experience.
And you mentioned your family. We've got your parents here if you want to come on in. Now, just if I heard this correctly, you had a twin brother who also had his senior matchup today.
That's correct.
And you drove to make sure you caught both of them?
We went to Rochester Institute of Technology. It was at 9:45 a.m. We had a noon flight to Washington National, rented a car, and came down here. And we're probably the only people in the country to do 2 senior days, about 7.5-hour drive apart from each other. But thank God for the plane.
What was the reason?
Well, we didn't want to miss either. It's a once in a lifetime. We wanted to share with both of our kids. So.
And what advice do you have before you, enter the real world now as a senior about how to prepare?
Well, my only advice at this moment is just to enjoy the rest of the school year, soak it in, make memories. Real life will come later.
Anything to add?
I second what she says.
And just knowing that you had your parents here, knowing that they went through all of that effort to make sure that they were in the stands cheering you on, how does that make you feel?
It's great. They've always been very supportive of me. Long weekends, my whole life. So just their love and support, it means everything.
Well, I appreciate all of your time. Congratulations on such a fantastic collegiate career. And signing off with the Rockbridge Report, I'm McKenzie Kane.
Back in 2020, the Buccaneers had high hopes for first-round pick Tristan Wirfs. In the offensive lineman's rookie season, he showed all the signs of a future star. And ever since then, he's only cemented that thought. Right now, he is on a trajectory that leads to Canton one day. Certainly not a guy the Bucs want to let slip away and end up with some other team. And more likely than ever, after today, that's not going to happen. The newest owner of the richest contract in Tampa Bay Buccaneers history, Tristan Wirfs. The news broke just before the Bucs took the field for training camp this morning. After practice, he officially signed his 5-year, $140 million contract with his girlfriend, newborn son Julius, and teammates surrounding him. Of course, Wirfs can now slip those pads on and go full contact during practice, something he had not done this camp without his financial security locked up. Now, $88 million of that $140 is fully guaranteed, making Tristan Wirfs the highest paid offensive lineman in NFL history. What a day to be a Bucs fan right here in Tampa Bay.
20 years later, I'm sitting here with you.
Now, I think anyone can agree, especially attending this event with the number of state winners for sports writing, sports casting.
50 of them. I think.
50 of them, and then some, actually, because a couple of them are co, so it's, I think, up to 108, 2 per state.
Wow. Well, that's the broadcasters and the writers. Nobody cares about the writers. I'm sorry.
But even with those 108 winners, none of their paths were the same. And you yourself took a winding path into the world of broadcast. So, what advice do you have to us youngsters on, who might be discouraged knowing that there's no immediate path to this industry?
Well, there are, as you mentioned, a number of different paths. The first path, the best path, is nepotism. If you have someone in the business, your dad is in the business, your uncle's in the business, your brother.
Now, you've had a number of different partners in the booth, some for decades, and I'm curious, what is the strategy for just building chemistry and keeping it for so long?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's like any friendship. I think or any marriage or anything. I think you get out of it what you put in it. And I don't think you can just, assume that it's all going to be great. I think you have to work at it.
The Washington and Lee football team has a new arm leading their offense.
That's it.
Sophomore quarterback Ty Collins. But his loudest cheers come from the sidelines.
Here we go.
From his big brother, Tony.
Yeah, good arm. Good arm, Wes.
The Generals' defensive line coach.
I look at a lot of these guys like little brothers, little mentees, but to actually have one that's, just like actual blood, it's awesome.
Despite all the time they spend together on field, many students haven't spotted the sibling resemblance.
Most people around here on campus probably still don't know, but I'm usually laid back and I really don't talk that much, and he's out open, and every time he goes somewhere he's talking to anybody and everybody, so it's pretty opposite, yeah.
For Ty, knowing his brother would be on the sidelines solidified his choice to come to Lexington.
Yeah, it's really exciting having him come out here every day and be able to have, especially a familiar face like that. My brother brings the energy for me because sometimes I don't always have it, so having him there always gives me that extra notch.
But in true big brother fashion, all Coach Collins wants is to see his little brother succeed as a general.
You grow up, you want to see him be better than you, and I get to see that growing process now almost every day. It's amazing. I tell everybody I'm living the dream. I taught him all I could teach him back then. Now let the professionals handle it.
Reporting from Lexington, McKenzie Kane, Rockbridge Report.